Today's wisdom. I've sought for all 39 of my years the wisdom to make myself a better person, to grow as a human being, to attain the understanding of the human condition, our role in the universe, in the world, and in each other's lives. One of the things I work very hard every day to understand is the fact that progress is made via adversity. It is adversity that drives us to overcome boundaries, overcome fears, overcome oppression. And now, in America, some of us are trying to overcome greed. We live in a time of confusion. We know that the media has lied to us about our role in the world. We know that we've been lied to about foreigners' roles in our lives. We know that we've been lied to about our relationships with corporate America and the government. We've even been lied to about our relationship with the media that's been lying to us about our relationships all along. We're so terrified of the army on both sides of the wars that we are fighting, most notably our own war against greed, that we ignore the vast space in the middle. That space that, if left ignored, will be named the field of battle. I prefer to exist there under terms of peace, but again, no progress has ever been gained without adversity, and I, like my forefathers, will not go quietly into the night. I will enter that field under any banner necessary to guarantee my child a better future. But before we wave a flag of war, let us set a precedence. Let us not be the generation that fights for an unknown desire. Let us establish a declaration that what we are fighting for, at its very heart, is America. No title that came before us will do. America, land of the free, home of the brave, is the land of prior generations. No, this simply will not do. We are America, a nation of kings. Our ancestors fought for our independence and our freedom, and we won. Our ancestors fought to show the world that we were leaders, and we won. Our ancestors fought to show the world that we were there to support the weak and the weary, and we won. We showed the world that we were brave, that we were strong, and that we would stand against insurmountable odds and emerge victorious. And because of this, we also showed the world that we were kind. And just as quickly, we turned the cheek of nobility and showed the world that we had another face. In the last few decades, we've shown the world that we are a nation of greed and lust. We have become possessed with power and gluttony. We've shown the world that we are a nation of political corruption. We've shown the world that we're a nation of liars. We've made promises to defend allies that we have abandoned. We've invaded nations for political and financial gain. We've shown the world that we no longer care about the rights or well-being of the individual. In our very own nation, we have more standing up every day pleading that something be done to restore our nation's dignity. We send foreign aid to other countries in a time when feeding ourselves is quickly becoming difficult. We send foreign aid to other people when we can't pay our own debts. Every day the cost of living goes up, and we get told to tighten our belts. We get told that the price that we are paying is not so very high if we compare ourselves to the rest of the world, and surely, with well-presented numbers and properly groomed facts, who are we to argue or complain? Let me answer that. We are the people who were once landowners. We are the people who used to own homes. And more importantly, we are the people who used to raise children. But we have been poisoned so slowly that we hardly noticed. It may already be too late. But some of us have seen the signs. Now, America, we are trying to wake you up. Every time you look at an Occupy movement and you scoff at them for making demands, being freeloaders, being radicals, Ask yourself if maybe somewhere in the middle of this battle, there's not some sense to be made. Every time you look at a political party and you want to judge them and think that they're so far off a center field, ask yourself, standing in the center, is maybe there not some sense to be made? Are you happy being asked to give more while you get less? Does that make sense to you? Do you see hard-working people losing the homes they fought to buy every day? My grandfather retired with a pension. I will not. Will you? And perhaps the most important question you can ask yourself, the most important question this entire generation must ask itself: can you afford to keep one parent home and raise your child in a loving, single-income home in a comfortable lifestyle? Not one of gluttony or excess, but just that old-fashioned comfort that the name America once stood for. If you are the average American, you no longer can. Now, I've been told that if I don't like it, that I can leave. True. I've been told that we have it better here than in the rest of the world. I will not argue. We've gone into places like the Middle East, and they've shown us how horrible it is there. And then, in the same breath, the propaganda machine shows us the beauty that exists in these places as well. But I do not live there. I am not fighting for their greater nation. True, with the available resources, it is the noble thing to do. But in a time of need, in our own land, it is simply not appropriate. No, instead, I am fighting for my nation. A nation that does not start wars with its neighbors on the basis of race, color, or creed. I am fighting to keep our nation noble and proud. I am fighting to help prevent it from starting wars over finance or power. I am fighting for my right to live and raise our children in comfort and security ourselves. I am fighting to keep our children out of daycares. I am fighting for our right to be home having dinner with our families. I'm fighting for our right to choose this life. I am fighting for the right to once again make decisions on our own behalf and not have them made for us. I am fighting for history's right to run its course. I am fighting for you to make a choice. This country was founded on some very important freedoms and rights. The freedom of speech, the freedom from persecution, freedom from oppression, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I ask you now, not as a denizen of tyranny, but as a citizen of America, to stand up for these fundamental rights. Do not let them convince that making demands, regardless of origin, is a privilege. We have a right to pursue what we feel is in our best interest, no matter the demand. We have a right to demand that the government work for us, that the government act in our best interest and not the interest of corporations or foreign nations. We have a right to demand that no company or corporation act as a government and assign its authority over us. I ask each of you now once again, be the kings and the queens of your castles. Let no invading force take from you what is yours. Take back your homestead. Look up what homestead means and take it back. Take back your government. Take back your freedoms. Take back your nation, a new America, the land of kings.